the season and competing, getting on the ice about a week away. You've got a really young team with 14 freshmen coming in, but in the past you've had some success with that. So I guess coming in, knowing you've had this kind of a team, what were some of the first steps that you and your staff have kind of taken to get everyone on the same page?
Well, I think first and foremost, I don't think we've ever had 14 freshmen, so I'm not sure if we have anything to look back at and mimic. We've had 11 and 12 freshmen in the past, and I think the most important thing when you do have a young team is you kind of go back to what your culture is all about and making sure that the things that you believe in as a program that has continually made us what we are today. Those are the things I think are really important, especially early. We recruit these kids for a reason. We recruit them to our culture. And at the end of the day, it's the culture that sustains over time. Even though the personalities might change, the culture is still the driving force to who we are and how we want to compete and how we want to play and how we want to live our lives. And so to me, that's probably the most important piece to restructuring, resetting, refocusing the team and moving forward.
Recently, you named Louis Belpedio as the team captain, just named alternates as well. What about the leadership group kind of stood out to you and everybody else in the program that kind of ultimately led to them, getting the letters on their jerseys?
Well, for us, it's a little bit different the way we do our leadership group, and for us, it's not a popularity contest. It's an actual responsibility that captains in the past have not taken lightly. In terms of Louis, dating back to last year and last spring and moving into the fall workouts, it was clear that he was the guy that was modeling the way and leading the way, and and when you talk about the assistant captains and Melnick and Hutton and Lemarand and Anthony Lewis, I would say that they were also part of that leadership group that kept everybody focused on what we needed to do. Even though we had a small group last spring, it was still important to set the foundation for the young guys that were coming in and making sure that everything was in place for what we needed to do once they got on campus.
This group as a whole has been back on campus for a month now. What are some of your early impressions, observations of everybody as they've kind of started to gel together a little?
Well, I think first and foremost, just with my dealings with them over the course of the last month, I can tell that our leadership group did a really good job of, one, educating our players on what our culture is, two, showing the way and leading the way in terms of what you need to do to be part of this program and to be responsible for your actions. So those two things I think stand out for me the most. At the end of the day, our youth is our youth. You're not going to hide from that. But like I said earlier, you always go back to the basis of your culture, and you refer back to the culture, and the culture is what drives you and sustains you over time. And that was the biggest thing I wanted to see early on. And I've seen that. We've seen that as a staff. The team's very close, and you can see it from day to day, which is a nice sign.
After last season, you talk about kind of the program kind of refocusing on some of their goals and kind of bedrocks and foundation of the culture. I guess what are some of the things that your staff and the team itself kind of did to work to kind of get back to the level that this program's been used to over the last 10 years?
Well, first and foremost, it's about hard work. There's no substitute for hard work, and that's the main thing that we've tried to hit home last spring and continue to hit on. I think there's a part of responsibility and ownership that comes into play when you talk about our culture. There's a gratitude that comes with being part of a program like ours, and so there's a tradition here at Miami, and I think that's important as well. And so those are a lot of things that are in play when you talk about resetting the culture or refocusing on the foundation of what our culture is all about. And so it's not just something that starts and you kind of forget about it. These are things that you have to continually remind not only the guys, but everybody associated with the program. So, it's exciting. It's exciting for us as a staff. It's exciting for the players. On two things. One, you get to see what our culture is really all about and how important that culture is. And two, what a special place we have and how important it is for us to continue to work to make sure that we leave the program better than we found it. And we'll continue to do that.
You mentioned earlier that you recruit these players for a reason. To that end, I guess you see kind of the talent-wise on-ice makeup of the roster. What kind of growth potential do you kind of see out of this group from where they are now and how good they can get along the way?
If I had a crystal ball, I probably wouldn't be here if I knew the answer to that question. But we feel very confident in what we have in the makeup of our team. The one element that I can't really stand up here and let you know is the experience and gaining that experience. I know that we will be better in January than we are now. I know that our guys will have a better understanding of how to compete and how to execute at a high level than we do now. And I also think we're going to get better every day. So, the simple answer to that is their growth and their maturity over the course of the next, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, year, 6 months, whatever you want to say, we hope is on a very good trajectory. And the basics are there, and we feel good about that. How long that improvement, how long it takes to improve to a level that we feel real good about, ultimately that's up to the guys. And I know what's in place right now. I know the way we do our business. I know the kind of culture that we have and how the guys have responded to that. Those are all good signs. Our program, since we've been here as a staff, has been about daily improvement. It's been about you have an opportunity every day to be the best that you can be, and the details and the habits of what you do on a day-to-day basis has been the cornerstone of our culture and our program since '99, and it will continue to be. It's something that, if not daily, every other day is preached in our locker room, not just by me, but by our staff and by the leadership and every player in our locker room, past, present, and future. Our job as coaches is to create the environment to make sure that those guys can grow in a fashion where we're going to win some games and they're going to grow as individuals and become better hockey players and better people. And that's our job, and that's the excitement of a staff. That's the excitement that we have right now as a coaching staff. We have a lot of young players, but it's exciting to know that we're going to shape and mold and help them grow and give them an environment where they can do that. And daily improvement to me is not just hockey, but life. And every day you have an opportunity to be a better version of yourself than you were yesterday. And, things like being in the moment and all the cliches you want to talk about, those all come into play. But at the end of the day, our culture is in a good place. Our leadership's in a good place. I feel good about the type of character that we have in our locker room. We got to go out and work now. We got to gain some experience through games and through practice, where you're not taking days off because we're in the preseason here. We got to have a full week of practice where everybody feels good about it, and you can build a little bit. So within the games and the practices coming up here in the next month or so, and the games that we're going to play non-conference, those are the times where we're going to find out where we need to go, how good we're going to be, and the type of level that we have to play at.
Some of your comments kind of lead into my last question. I guess if you could pick one or two things, what excites you the most about this team heading into this year?
Well, again, I'm going to repeat myself, but I think the makeup of the team, the attitude of the team, it's by no means are we even close to where I think we need to be as a program to compete against some of the top teams in the country. But I can feel that we can get there, and to me that's exciting. Our culture's in place, the attitude is where it needs to be. Now we got to go and do the work. And to me, our staff, our players have never been afraid of the work, and that's going to be the fun part. Good.
Thank you, Coach.
All
right, Louis, team captain heading into this year, and 14 new faces in the dressing room. How long did it take everybody to kind of get to know each other over the summer and this past month?
Well, I mean, the summer definitely helped. I think we got a head start with that. I mean, I'm not sure how many programs bring in, I mean, for us at least, all 14 guys to kind of get to know each other and, kind of gel and get that chemistry going early. But I think the summer definitely helped, and, I think we've come a long way. I feel like we've been together for a long time, and we're definitely ready for next week.
So a week away from games getting going with an exhibition, I guess. Where do you feel the team is at this point, a month back together on campus?
Well, I mean, we basically had a month of just going against each other and battling hard, and I think we're ready to stop beating each other up and kind of pick on some other guys and finally get the chance to play again. And I know for us returners, it's been a long time, and I mean, March is a long way back for us, so we're ready and looking forward to the opportunity.
After last season, Coach kind of mentioned everyone kind of refocusing on some of the pillars of the brotherhood. Can you go into a little detail as far as, from your end, what kind of work was put in to kind of not necessarily rebrand, but just kind of refocus and reprioritize some things?
I think a lot of things is I mean, we obviously, half our team's new. So I think for those, we had 3 seniors, 4 including Wingles, 3 juniors, and then our 6 sophomores now. I think a big part of that was just everyone had to lead by example and, kind of set the freshmen off on the right foot. And, I think we've done that so far, and, they've kind of gelled into what, the brotherhood really is and what it's about. And, we've come a long way from the start, and we got a long way to go. But I think we've definitely come a long way.
Your area from the blue line back, obviously with 14 freshmen, you're going to have some new faces at a lot of different positions. How have you and I guess the returning defensemen kind of helped, I guess, take the freshmen under your wings, so to speak, and kind of get everybody on the same page?
Yeah. I mean, got to give credit to Coach for this. Right now, there's returning defenseman is paired with a new face. It's paired with the freshman, which, just kind of having one guy with experience and another guy to kind of learn from the freshman standpoint definitely helps. And, I think we've done great so far. I think they've kind of, stepped right in on the right foot, and things have gotten off to a great start.
You were kind of at the opposite end of that 2 years ago when you came in, and you were paired a lot with Matthew Cato. So can you speak to how much of a help that was when you were getting starting to now seeing it at the other end of the spectrum?
Yeah. I mean, for me, there was only 3 of us freshmen, 2 defensemen and 1 forward. So I think we didn't Scott Connor and I didn't really have a choice. We kind of had to, match the intensity, match the pace, match the smarts of everyone that was already here. And, I think we did a great job with that, and ultimately that led to our success. So, I mean, for me, obviously, now looking back on it, I can just use what I've learned to try to hopefully teach it, to Freddie, who's my D partner, and, the rest of the defensive core and even the forwards. Just kind of lead by example and show them what it takes and, how you have to play each and every night in order to be successful.
Yes, what are some of the things that excite you the most about this team entering the year?
I mean, for me, I think the most exciting thing is the fact that everyone except us thinks we're going to be bad. And, you know, I mean, that's obviously kind of sets a fire in your stomach and makes you want to prove everyone wrong. And, you know, I think that's what we're going to do. I'm honestly not worried one bit. And, you know, I think there's going to be a lot of shocked people at the end of the year when, you know, we're climbing up and hopefully making the NCAA tournament and making a run deep into it. So just got to take it one day at a time, though, and obviously not look too far ahead. But that's definitely the most exciting thing for me.
Well, first off, a lot of new faces in the locker room, 14 freshmen in all entering this team. How's everybody kind of been getting adjusted and, you know, familiar with each other this first month back for the fall and over the summer?
I mean, yeah, obviously we have 14 freshmen, so there's a lot of younger guys in there. But so far, I mean, we've only been here for a few weeks now. Everything's been flowing along pretty well. I mean, practice, there's chemistry flowing already. We're pretty excited to get into season now. I mean, a lot of bonding experiences together, so we're all excited. We're obviously a very close team like every other year. So,
You know, you're one of 5 members that'll be wearing an A or a C on their jersey at some point this year. Just take me through, you know, kind of the process of kind of molding yourself into a leader and kind of what the goals are for this leadership group as far as getting everybody on the same page pretty quickly with such a young team.
yeah, I mean, we obviously have a lot of captains this year. I think that's to the whole team's benefit. I mean, I don't think there should be a single guy or two. I mean, the more the better. I mean, we say it every day in the locker. I mean, there's not just leaders, there's also the followers. Even the leaders have to be followers at some time. And I just think the leaders have to know, I mean, me and myself, I'm going to lead by example and I'm a senior this year, so I'm going to do my best to get the 14 freshmen into everything, the loop. I mean, can't take it easy on them, otherwise it's not going to go how we plan and everything like that. So,
You know, a month in, and after spending some summertime with some of the guys, I guess, what are some of your early impressions of the team so far and your teammates as far as how things have kind of been starting to come together?
yeah, I mean, like I said before, we're a really close team already, and the season hasn't even started. And I mean, obviously, when the season starts, we're traveling and everything together, so it brings us even closer. So I'm very excited for that. I'm glad most of the freshmen, I mean, pretty much everyone have made it out for at least a few days in the summer or whatever. So, I mean, that was obviously great, and it just brought us even when they come in, they're more comfortable when they do that. And hats off to those guys for putting the extra effort in. I mean, they don't have to come, so, and they did anyway, and it brought the guys closer. It's awesome.
Up front, you know, you're one of the kind of noted scorers on the team, and you know, among the returning cores, there's you and Josh Melnick and Kiefer Sherwood kind of carrying the mail, so to speak, among returning scorers. As your observations as far as like kind of the skill level that's kind of been infused with the freshman class, and how you have been seeing, you know, some of these battles shake out a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough question to answer, but everyone on the team, I mean, we say it every day, and like every meeting we have, you need to know your place, you need to know your role on the team, and do that to the best of your abilities. I mean, sometimes things aren't going to go your way, and you adapt to them, learn from them, and the next time you do it even better. So,
I guess last question is, what are some of the things coming into this season and with this team that excite you the most about this year?
I mean, proving people wrong. I know pretty much everybody in the country is probably already counting us out. We have a very young team, 14 freshmen, but it's not going to hold us back, and we're excited to prove that to the whole country and whoever's looking against us, I guess. So,
Thank you.
thank you.